I'm Dr. Sarah Brittan. I'm a communication strategist specializing in social media. I'm a Twitter addict and I paint with lipstick. The lipstick painting started in 2002 by complete accident. I was sitting at home procrastinating. There's something new. I was meant to be finishing my PhD. My then husband was overseas looking for work and he'd left all this cardboard lying around, and one thing led to another. I started playing around with lipstick, and those first experiments led to today, where I have exhibitions and I sell my work.
Sarah, tell us about shopper marketing.
Shopper marketing is something I became familiar with a few years ago when I worked at Y&R. And essentially, a shopper is a consumer in buyer mode. Most of the marketing that I started out doing when I started in advertising is consumer marketing. It's about brand, it's about creating a need to go and get the product. But shopper marketing almost holds the consumer by the hand and takes them right up to that moment of truth, whether you actually buy the product. So shopper marketing used to be associated very strongly with the in-store environment, with point of sale, with things like aisle violators. It's full of very strange jargon. But it's actually about the entire process between that moment when you're in the shower and you realize you've run out of shampoo and you need to get some more, and to that moment where you actually buy the shampoo in the store, take it home with you, experience it. And the idea is that you maintain a relationship with the shopper throughout that, to make sure that they always buy your product and not somebody else's.
So what exactly are aisle violators?
Oh, I love aisle violators. I find it a problem. It actually takes me forever to do shopping because I photograph everything I see in the store. So, ooh, that's a nice shelf stripper, which sounds dodgy. Ooh, a gondola end, wow. Yeah, I wonder how much they paid for this. Cadbury's been coming up with some really nice gondola ends. And shopper marketing is actually quite lucrative. There's a lot of money to be made in building all of those units, interestingly enough.
So what's the link between shopper marketing and digital?
Yes, well, there's a perfectly logical link, because the one thing you have with you when you're in the store or outside the store in your car or wherever you happen to be is your mobile phone. So there's a very logical link there, because the device that connects you to the digital world, to your Facebook account, to Twitter or wherever, happens to be something that you are shopping with. And so it gives people an opportunity to not only connect with consumers when they're walking up and down those aisles being violated, but also to look at the online environment. So it's a very logical touch point, because the whole idea is that one message received at any given time is not necessarily going to get you to buy. You've got to constantly be talking to the consumer at the moment that they turn to the shopper, because that is what's going to get them to behave in the way you want them to. And that can be anything from seeing a billboard, to hearing a radio ad, to seeing a tweet about something, to seeing point of sale in the store, to buying the product, having a good experience with the product, telling all your friends about it, who then go out and try the product themselves. All of that is part of shopper marketing. And that's what makes shopper marketing exciting, because it's about the process and it's very shopper-centric. Traditional marketing tends to be very brand-centric. We think brand first and what's meaningful to the brand. Shopper marketing looks at the average shopper's day and figures out how to make communication relevant.
Okay, so how does that relate to the purely online shopping experience?
Yeah, shopper marketing certainly applies to online retailing, and I've been talking very much about FMCG, fast-moving consumer goods, but shopper marketing principles can be applied to pretty much anything, because, as I said, it's a process. So if you're selling a car, for example, most car purchases now start online. I've spoken to car dealers who've told me that actually the moment somebody walks into a car dealership, they've actually pretty much decided what they want, and the test drive is almost perfunctory. It's something they need to go through to be absolutely sure. But virtually all the research they're doing now is online. And if you look at financial services, a great deal of research goes on online, and any product that requires a lot of trust, those brands are having to invest more and more and more in information that's available online, because now the first thing we do when we think about buying something, we Google it.
You're involved with the Loeries. Do you think they get digital?
Yeah, the Loeries definitely get digital, and in fact the Loeries CEO Andrew Human started out He started out with a PhD in chemical engineering. Not many people know this. And then he got into digital. So he was working on Audi back in the 90s, went to New York, got involved in awards, came back to run the Loeries. So his own background is very, very digital. And we're quite excited because this year, for the first time ever, we have more than 300 entries in the digital category, which is slightly over 10% of the total. It's not the biggest category yet. That's still print, followed by TV and radio. But digital is the big category that is growing, and we certainly expect to see more and more digital entries in the years ahead. We've also seen quite a lot of growth in the integrated category, and that's because a lot of campaigns follow a golden thread through all sorts of touch points, through TV, radio, online. And we're also seeing an interesting shift in that above-the-line creative directors from traditional agencies are being headhunted by digital agencies. And there's an increasing awareness that in digital, you need a great idea because there's so much competition for attention. Your ideas, if they're shoddy, people just don't pay attention to them. So we're seeing more and more of a shift, and this is driven by digital, to content that is really powerful, really creative, really compelling. So digital makes creative ideas more important, not less important. And we're really excited about that.
What's next for you, Sarah?
Well, I'm going to be doing a lot more shopper marketing and getting my agency up and running. It's called SOAP, which stands for Strategic Orientated Approach to Purchase. But we liked it because SOAP is something that you buy in the store, and it's kind of something, it's tangible, and you can relate to it. There's that. There's more speaking in the future. I have many fingers in many pies, so I like to keep busy, and I will carry on painting with lipstick because it's fun.
This interview is brought to you by the OfferForge Advertising Network. See what we can do for you. Visit us at www.OfferForge.com.